We've been intensively testing the new Android 15 based Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro, and in some respects it truly impressed us. However, there are some significant shortcomings when comparing it to similar price competitors like the OnePlus Pad 2 and the Honor Magic Pad 2. Although Xiaomi has not officially released the Pad 7 Pro outside of China yet, it's currently available for purchase through importers for under $450. We got it from Trading Shenzhen, who pre-installs Google Play services. You can find the links in the description below. The most important question is whether it's worth ordering the device all the way from a Chinese importer with limited service and warranty. We will get to that, but first let's look at the design of the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro. The aluminum finish on the Pad 7 Pro's back and sides give it a premium look and feel. Although it feels very much like an iPad. It weighs 500 grams and is 6.2 millimeters thin. For some of you, the not so small screen bezels will be a turnoff, but this was no concern for us. A bigger problem was the camera placement. The main camera sits at the top left of the device back and causes an annoying wobble when you use it without a case on a flat surface. That's a common issue with tablets, but something that stands out here because of the big camera module. The USB-C port can be found at the very bottom. It supports USB 3.2 Gen 1 speeds and can also be used as a display out. Working our way to the right bottom side, there's a magnetic pen dock that also supports wireless charging for the Xiaomi Focus Pen. At the right top side, we find a very standard volume rocker. The power button at the top right side has a built-in fingerprint reader, which is very convenient and works like a charm. Sadly, we don't get a micro SD card slot. The Android 15 based HyperOS 2, which comes pre-installed, is generally a very useful and well-designed operating system. The Pad 7 Pro is also the first tablet on the market to come with Android 15 right out of the box. Since it's currently only officially available in China, the only language options are English or Chinese. And here's where we had our first issue. Just casually browsing through settings or default apps, you will occasionally find random Chinese text when the device is set to English, or even though the device is set to English. Although this doesn't make it unusable, it does take away from the otherwise smooth user experience of HyperOS 2. Another inconvenience is just the amount of random bloatware it comes with. The default music app, for example, is only in Chinese. There are numerous other Chinese apps like Chinese video streaming platforms which come pre-installed. Luckily, they can be uninstalled. On the plus side, Xiaomi has made considerable advances on the user-friendliness of their Pad UI. 3 dots at the center top of the screen activates a multitasking view of an app, which can then be dragged anywhere on the screen in the floating window mode or switch to split screen mode. Unfortunately, there's no desktop mode, and Xiaomi also doesn't support the taskbar that is otherwise standard since Android 12L. However, as mentioned, you can still connect an external monitor. Xiaomi has not made any statements regarding software support for the Pad 7 Pro, but typically they provide at least 3 Android version updates as well as around 4 years of security updates for their higher-end products. This is lacking in comparison to competitors like Samsung, who currently promise 7 years of OS and security updates for their flagships. The Pad 7 Pro has an inbuilt AI spell checker and text generator, as well as a AI translation and interpretation feature. This is not very impressive, but we expect more features to come in the future. We found that Xiaomi's Focus Pen does a great job at drawing and note-taking, but does unfortunately cost $80 extra and is not included with the tablet. Touch response and pressure sensitivity function well in a wide range of applications. There's some minimal delay in certain art programs like Sketchbook, which is very common with competitors too, but otherwise it works really well. The Pad 7 Pro is able to show its strengths when it comes to performance. Xiaomi decided to outfit the device with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8S Gen 3, while the previous Pad 6 Pro came with the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. In a vacuum, this looks great. But the OnePlus Pad 2, at roughly the same price, features a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, a chip that performs significantly better in every scenario. We see in our benchmarks that the Pad 7 Pro very slightly pulls ahead of the Galaxy Tab S9 and Honor Magic Pad 2 in our Geekbench 6 GPUs benchmarks. The iPad 10 is significantly faster in GPU tests and about on par in CPU speed. The Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro comes with a default of 8GB of RAM and 128GB of UFS 4.0 storage and is configurable to up to 12GB RAM and 512GB of internal storage. We have been testing the 8GB variant in various scenarios, including demanding gaming, and the tablet remains snappy, responsive, and proves that it is more than capable of handling whatever you throw at it. All in all, the performance of the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro is quite decent. We also haven't noticed any issue with overheating in gaming or otherwise. It comes warm to the touch under heavy load, but not uncomfortably so. For gaming, we were able to hit the 60 frames per second target on maxed out settings in almost every title we've tested, with an exception in Fortnite, where there was significant stuttering on very high settings and an average of only 40 FPS. We also saw Fortnite crashing twice during a 1 hour long session. We were able to achieve 60 FPS on high settings, although only the medium preset could sustain a stable 60 FPS. Otherwise, there were very few issues during gaming. We tested it with other demanding titles such as Genshin Impact and PUBG Mobile, both on their maximum quality presets, and found that the tablet was able to yield very smooth high refresh rate experiences in both titles. Battery drain also does not seem to be a severe issue under load. After an intense 25-minute long game of PUBG Mobile, the battery percentage only went down by 7%. This shows that the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro is a pretty good gaming tablet, although an iPad 10 or OnePlus Pad 2 definitely performs better. Those of you who are considering this tablet purely for gaming performance should look elsewhere. In our 3D Mark benchmark test, the OnePlus Pad 2 produces a far better result in both CPU and graphics benchmarks. However, the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro remains a decent contender for an all-rounder tablet that can also perform when needed. We see some disappointing results in our battery test. Our device lasted only 7.5 hours in a continuous YouTube video playback test at maximum brightness, while competitors like the Honor Magic Pad 2 lasted 13 hours in the same test. That one does have a larger battery and an OLED display. The Xiaomi has an 11.2-inch IPS panel coming in at 2136 by 3200 pixels, giving us a pixel density of 344 ppi. Compared to the Honor Magic Pad 2's 290 ppi, we notice some sharper details. The latter, however, does feature an OLED display with significantly better colors. The Xiaomi display supports various refresh rates up to a max of 144 Hz, although we found that it refuses to run at 144 Hz no matter what. We only saw 120 Hz as the maximum. HDR10 is supported, by the way. And the panel gets to a maximum brightness of 800 nits, generally enough for outside use, and definitely better than other tablets like the iPad Air at 500 nits at the 11-inch iPad Air. It has a slightly unconventional 3:2 aspect ratio. This choice gives you a lot more vertical real estate when using the tablet during split screen, for example, and that is great for working. Using the tablet in full screen mode will result in large black bars on the top and bottom side of the screen when video streaming, however, as most content is created for a traditional 16:9 ratio. In apps designed for vertical use, such as TikTok, this problem is even more apparent. Videos are displayed with huge and distracting voids on both sides of the screen, and the extra space is not utilized at all. The problem is also that some Android apps are not optimized for tablets yet. If you want a tablet for watching movies and TV shows, the Honor Magic Pad 2 will be much better for you for sure. The quad speakers on the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro are generally decent for watching videos or listening to music. They do a good job at sounding clear and have a minimal distortion at higher volumes. The speakers get loud enough to fill a room but lack a bit of a bass. For most users they are good enough. On the back we get a main camera with a resolution of 50 megapixels, so quite a lot, and it supports 4K 60 FPS videos. In our test, the main camera is alright, although the heavy software processing tends to overcompensate and over-sharpen blurry parts of the image. It's good enough for capturing bits of text, for example on a presentation slide, which then can be converted to text using Xiaomi's AI text recognition tool. It's modestly impressive to see a mid-range Android device taking decent photos. This camera is more than usable in a pinch. The 32 megapixel selfie camera again was a pleasant surprise in image quality and responsiveness. Selfies come out looking natural, though a little bit too sharp. It's nothing to write home about, but it's more than good enough for a Zoom call or Microsoft's team meetings. While being one of the first tablets with Android 15, This doesn't bring enough advantages to make the Xiaomi Pad 7 Pro worthwhile by itself in our opinion. The OnePlus Pad 2 provides remarkably better performance at a similar price range without sacrificing too much on any front. And the Honor Magic Pad 2 with an OLED display and a more traditional aspect ratio will be better for watching movies. When importing the Pad 7 Pro, both competitors roughly cost the same, and if you can get them locally, you will likely have better warranty. If you can get the Xiaomi for its Chinese price of $330, however, then it's a fantastic upper mid-range tablet. It's a great tablet in general if it's cheaper than the OnePlus Pad 2 and Honor Magic Pad 2, which vary a lot by market of course, so better compare prices locally.